friends, Christine here from Spotted Horse Design Company, and today I have something very special to share with you. So a couple of days ago, I had the opportunity to get on a video call with Hortense of Knitting with Chopsticks to talk about her upcoming Crochet Blanket Summit. So if you're signed up for my newsletter, you've already heard me talking about this, but regardless of whether or not you are signed up for my newsletter, this exclusive footage is going to kind of give you the inside scoop of this awesome event. Little side note here, I'm actually one of the speakers. This is my first year actually as a speaker at the Crochet Blanket Summit, and my chosen topic is the healing power of crochet and why I've chosen blankets specifically as my go-to project for my mental health. Now, while mine and Hortense's conversation is not about my topic specifically, Hortense covers a lot of ground talking about the entire 4-day summit in great detail. So whether or not you've already heard of the Crochet Blanket Summit and maybe you're already signed up, maybe this is your first time hearing about it, either way, I think you'll enjoy this fun little conversation I had with Hortense, and it will give you the entire inside scoop of this awesome event.
Hello. I am very excited about this blanket summit. I made my first blanket probably only 3 years ago because it scared me actually. And I have commitment issues. So I just want to be I want to crochet a beanie and be done in an hour. And I don't want to commit to crocheting a blanket. But the first blanket that I made and designed myself went super viral, and to this day it's still one of my top sellers on Etsy and on Ravelry. But all that to say, I really fell in love with crocheting blanket. Ever since that one, I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad, and if I use chunky yarn, I can still be done in a relatively short amount of time. So anyways, I'm super excited about this blanket summit, and I love that it's free. I think it's going to be really great for the crochet community. So can you just briefly tell us a little bit about the Crochet Blanket Summit?
Of course. So the event is happening September 19 to 22. So that's a Thursday to a Sunday. So trying to get as much possible in the weekend zone so that everyone can join. Every day we have about 7 to 8 presentations. They will all get available at 8 a.m. Eastern time and be available for 48 hours. So if you work or you have a life, obviously everyone has a life, you can watch on your own time the presentations. And then we have some live Q&A panels so you can interact with the speakers and ask questions. We also have a Facebook group where each presentation has their own question thread. So we'll make sure that you get all your questions answered so that you leave the summit with no questions and all the blanket motivation there is.
And I love that you make it available for the next 2 days, accounting for people's, work schedules or, whatever they've got going on, so they can still access that. So I really love that you're offering that and you're keeping it open. So in the beginning, I mentioned that I hadn't made my first blanket until 3 years ago. So for a beginner, whether they're a beginner crocheter or just somebody getting into making blankets, how would this summit benefit someone like that?
So it's really funny that you say you were scared of blankets, because blankets are very often a first project. So it's a bit like the two sides. So on one side, blankets are just a rectangle. So it's pretty straightforward. So you can stitch a lot without too much thinking, which is what a lot of people love into blankets. But then for other people, it's a big project because obviously there's quite some surface to cover. So some people stay away or take time to get to that until they're faster. So it's a bit of the two sides. We do have a lot of presentations that are going to help everyone make their blankets better and faster. So for beginners, I would definitely recommend the more on day one, we have more, I call them spiritual presentations. They're not spiritual at all, but we have one about motivation to keep going and to finish your blanket. We have one about creating a timeline and making a schedule, not to be bossed around, but for yourself to actually finish your blanket. And then we have some about minimizing and managing ends, which is very often another struggle people have with blankets. So we have all of those kinds of presentations. And then on the next days, we have more technical presentations on different types of topics, different types of colorwork techniques. So some of them you might never have heard about. Which is my whole goal with the summit, to let everyone know about everything they don't even know exists.
Yeah. That's great.
So that was my big discovery with jumping into the online world of crochet. It's whoa, there is so much more that I have never ever heard about. So I don't even know I should look it up on YouTube because I don't even know it exists.
Right.
So that's my motivation behind organizing this summit. So yeah, we have a lot of technical presentations. We have some stitch tutorials. So and some tutorials on how to make up your own blanket. So if you want to do this stitch and you want to do that yarn, how do you make that turn out into like a proper sized blanket, and make sure you have enough yarn to make it. So that should help.
Awesome. So it gives them motivation, but it also, they can also learn how to work at their own pace and learn at their own pace. So I love that. Like I said in the beginning, one of the things that was intimidating to me about blankets was the commitment, the time commitment, because I like one and done, you know, like the 1 hour beanies, I'm there. So for people that struggle with the overwhelm of a large project, how might the summit help them overcome that?
Outside of like the actual presentations about how to make a timeline for your project and stick to it, and how to find the motivation and like manage your mindset behind it and get it done. There is a lot of like community going on with the summit. So we have a Facebook group where everyone's welcome and everyone's like encouraging each other and get in touch with other crocheters and have some, I forgot the word. Sorry.
It's okay. You're good.
Accountability. That's the one. So you can find some accountability partners through like the Facebook group, or if you're joined the Sip and Stitches, that can help you like stay accountable even after the summit. We do have like some live Sip and Stitch parties in the event. On the first day, there's one that's available for everyone, and then the other ones will be exclusive to the Super Pack. So we have a smaller group of people that are really committed and really connect, because there's already nearly 4,000 people signing up for the summit. So I cannot do a Sip and Stitch with 4,000 people. No. It's not going to work. Like no one's going to get to talk to anyone. So we're going to make it smaller with the Super Pack. So the Super Pack, we haven't talked about that yet. So the Super Pack is the paid upgrade for the summit. All the presentations and everything is free for 48 hours, like each day. But if you want to get access to the presentations even after that, you can get access by purchasing the Super Pack, where you get like a course portal where all the presentations will be in there. All the live replays will be in there. We have lesson notes for each of the presentations. We have a 30-day free trial in my membership. That's also very helpful to help you keep accountable and keep engaged with crochet after the event. And then we have awesome bonuses from our speakers that are worth over $400. So it's definitely worth the investment.
I know I was looking at some of those bonuses and they're amazing. So they're yeah. So people that upgrade to the Super Pack are really going to get a lot of value. I mean, you're already getting so much with just the free summit. But the Super Pack just opens up so many more doors for the attendance.
Also, like, the free summit is awesome, but it is for a very, very intensive day. Trust me, it's my third summit. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And like the goal is not to overwhelm everyone, but I want to offer things for everyone. Some people are more beginners, some people are a bit more advanced and want to learn new techniques. So the big advantage of the Super Pack is that you can focus during the summit days on the presentation that are where you are now.
Right.
And then have all the other ones for later. So if you have never done mosaic crochet before, you've never heard about it, and you're just like have never done any kind of color work, maybe start with just like stripes and figuring out how to keep your ends straight with that and how to manage your ends and those presentations. And then later, like maybe 6 months, a year, when you're more comfortable with blankets, you can look into mosaic crochet, which is like a color work technique. It's nothing in crochet is actually hard, but it all looks very hard until you dive into it.
Yes.
But you do need to dive into it to get it. And we have a few presentations on that. So that would be like waiting for you in the Super Pack. So when you're ready, you just go to your Super Pack and learn whatever you need for that next project. And that way you don't get overwhelmed. Because if you watch all the presentations in 4 days, you're not going to remember anything and you're not going to like actually put into practice. Right. That's not what we want.
No, so you're not. So there's a few things that I'm getting from that. So one, people that are part of the Super Pack to consume the material on their own time, and it's in one place. Like they always know where to find it and they don't have to go searching for this presentation or that presentation. They're just going to get it in one. So they can go back to the same place every time. And I really like that. Some people that are on the fence about upgrading, which I've gotten this from some of my followers already, if they're on the fence about upgrading, what's that convincing point that would make them see the value in upgrading to the Super Pack?
So I think for me, like the biggest benefit is to have access to all the courses even after. So like, you don't need to try to remember and get to everything during the summit. You can get to the content that's either not where you're at or not your priority right now. So what I like to suggest people is when you look at the content for the summit, look at what you're going to apply in your next blanket, what's going to be useful for you, like the next project. If you're not planning on doing any like corner to corner in your next project, don't focus on those presentations right now. focus on the other ones. And then later when you do a corner to corner project, or when you think like, okay, I want to see what that's about and see if I want to do that, then you go to those presentations. Because then at least you're going to watch the presentations, learn, and then actually make a project with it. So it's sticky.
Yes. And it's
we've
lifetime
all been
access.
guilty. Yeah. We've all been guilty of like watching 10,000 tutorials or presentations about anything and like not actually using them, and then even forgetting they existed and you've ever watched them.
So they'll have lifetime access to this then. So they pay, so you upgrade to the super pack and then they just have access to it for life.
And another big part of the super pack is the speaker bonuses. So there's 15, I think, different ones. They're all like awesome resources. Those are not like freebie things people like designers usually get for free. Those are all of our like best paid patterns. There's like 70 stitch tutorials total that are like awesome for blankets. So there's like different and workbooks, and each of them, like 2 of them by themselves, are usually worth the value of the super pack. So you get 15 plus like the actual summit replays and lesson notes for the summit, which I think are super convenient, because even if you watch the presentation, it's good to have like a written support so that you can like take some notes. And then if you want to refer back, like, oh, I remember she said something about that, you don't have to try to scroll through her video to find it. You just scroll to the pages. To me, that's like so much easier to like find back what you're looking for.
Yeah, so I agree. Because I know for myself, when I go to things like this and I'm like furiously writing down the notes, and then I get back home, then I'm looking at my notebook and in the moment, I know what it's about. But then when I get home and I look back at my notes, I'm like, wait a minute, why, what did I write this down for? So you're saying that with the super pack, they get all of the presentation notes.
They even get them before. So on the Thursday 19th at 8 a.m. when the first presentation release, they get access to all the presentations for the summit and all the lesson notes. So you guys can like either print them or download them to your like iPad or whatever, and scribble notes on them directly while you attend the summit.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so convenient. That's very, very, very handy to have. Absolutely. All right. So what do you think is going to be the most exciting or helpful resource of the super pack?
I think that's a very personal question, depending on everyone's like favorites. There's a couple of pattern bundles that like look really appealing to me, that are like very classic, timeless, modern. The modern and classic maybe are contradictory, but like everyday blankets that would fit like any interior, that would be like just perfect for gifts for anyone. I don't know if you guys do that, but I have like a gift closet, and I have like pre-made gifts that I know are like a good fit for more or less everyone. And then I can
organize
when I need to. So I like to have a couple of blankets in there just in case like I have a last minute something happening and I have a blanket ready for it. So those would definitely be my top picks. I really like the corner to corner patterns from Make and Do Crew, just because they're awesome. And I've never done corner to corner, so now I really want to try it. So like, even though I'm hosting the summit, there's some things in there that I have not tried yet, because no one's an expert on everything and no one has tried like all the crochet techniques, and it's never been like my priority, because it's not my usual go-to style, but I kind of like it. So I want to try it.
Oh, that's awesome. So speaking of, you just mentioned Make and Do Crew. Can you talk about some of the speakers? Because I noticed some really big names in there, and I'm personally excited about hearing from some of these designers.
Yes, I am so excited about this year's speakers. Honestly, I can't believe some of them said yes.
There's some big ones.
Very daring. I just like shoot for the moon and try and see what happens. And so awesome people said yes. Very often we think they're a huge big deal, but they're just as shy as we are. And they're like, I don't know if I'm ready to go live and be on camera. So it's really funny. So we have Nikki from Nikki's Homemade Crafts.
Love her.
You met her at the business summit too. We have Tiffany from Crochet with Tiffany. We have Erin from Juniper and Oaks.
Yes.
We have Arunima. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce her name correctly. I find it really hard to pronounce. From Knitter Nutter.
Yes. Another big one.
Well, everyone's listed on the like sign up page. You have all the headshots with their names and their presentation. We have Smita from Smiling Colors, Christine from Ambassador Crochet. Sorry, I'm cheating and looking at the sign up page. We have Tamara from Multiblog.
Oh my gosh, yes. I thought that was awesome. That honestly, that would be a selling point for me, just to attend a summit where she was a speaker.
We also have Megan from Megan Makes Do.
Oh
which I also admire a lot.
Oh, wow.
There's like big names that everyone will recognize, and there's smaller names that are so worth like learning about, that have amazing blankets and amazing content,
Awesome.
but aren't as big online yet. Keep an eye out for them.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm super excited. Well, thank you so much for meeting me today, and talking about this awesome summit. I'm super excited. So this starts September 19th. Yeah, this is going to be a really great time. I know my people are really excited. I've gotten a lot of really great feedback so far from
Awesome.
my followers, the ones that have signed up. So
One thing I wanted to mention is if anyone's watching this like late, you can still register even though the summit started.
okay. Oh, that's
So
good.
I'm not closing the door until the last presentation like has expired. So
Okay.
until like the Tuesday 8 a.m., you can still sign up and catch up on whatever's available, or grab the super pack to catch up on what you missed. But like, don't think because you see this September 20th or even September 19th that it's too late. You can still join us. And even if you only want to watch 1 or 2 presentations, go ahead, sign up. It's free. Just watch whatever you want. You don't have to like be full on available for 4 days and do all the things. It's a pick and choose kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that they could still sign up, so that's really good. So anyone that's just now tuning in, because I know not everyone gets to my newsletters, that sometimes they get to my newsletter, a day or 2 or 3 afterwards. So if we've got any stragglers, they can still sign up, and that's awesome. So, and they can still take advantage of the free summit. All right. Well, thank you again for joining me. And I will look forward to seeing you and all of these awesome designers starting September 19th.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
All right. We'll talk to you later.